Welcome to our latest build series presented by Koyo Rad, this 1999 Mitsubishi Evo 6 that I'm dubbing the STI Killer. First off, I want to say how stoked I am to be building a Mitsubishi. I used to own an Evo 8, an Evo 10, and a plethora of DSMs way back in my early days. So I am super happy to be going back to my roots and playing with the 4G63 power plant, which I think is the best power plant out there.
Better than an EJ207 PT? Come on, man.
Of course it is. And that is the other reason why I'm building an Evo. That is because Dave won our last challenge with the Subaru STI, the abandoned STI, and gladly I'm happy because, as I said, I'm super excited to be building this car. And I looked long and hard for one of these. They're not easy to come by, but thankfully up here in Canada, we've got our 15-year law. So we are able to import 4s, 5s, and 6s, actually even 7s. But as I said, I've owned an 8 before, so I didn't want to go the 7 route. I considered many 5s, but I'm sure this is going to offend a lot of Evo 5 owners. I prefer the looks to the 6. To me, it's a
they
more
look different? I don't know, PT.
Oh man, they do.
I'm
the
a
whole
rookie
front
on this
end,
stuff.
the whole front end is different.
Is it?
Yes, and Evo 6 owners can send you a list of improvements over the 5. So there are things that make this car better to a certain extent. Looks-wise, as I said, that's a matter of personal opinion.
Let's be honest though, PT, it's still not going to win any beauty contests compared to the STI.
Are you kidding me?
Come on.
This is the essence of what I think a Japanese sports sedan should look like. Pure raw, it's got fender flares, it's got a big wing. Look at the vents. How many vents does your STI? Oh, it has a snorkel. This thing's got vents, my man. Like, look at the openings there.
I can see the enthusiasm. That's good. It's good.
It's
but
crazy.
How is this going to beat the STI? Let's be honest. I mean, this thing looks pretty rough around the edges.
It is. I think this is the cheapest Evo in all of North America that I purchased. This was 10,000 Canadian dollars, so about 7 grand US. And I bought it sight unseen from somebody out in Nova Scotia. As I said, they're hard to come by. Locally, people wanted a lot more money, and there weren't many of them up for grabs. And I figured I needed a challenge to show you even what a beat-up car can do and pummel up an STI. So it's not going to look like this when it's done, but I've got a lot of good things planned. So first off, though, let's have a look at this thing and see what it needs done. I got to give a big thank you to Gord and Cal, who were actually out in Nova Scotia, helped me broker this deal. Otherwise, I don't think I would have purchased this car because, as I said, sight unseen, and that means he sent me a couple of photos, but when the car arrived, there was a bunch of surprises. The first one being this dent in the door here. I'm looking at this thinking a dent repair specialist may be able to take this out. I really hope so because I don't want to have to get this door repainted. It's actually not in bad shape. This is really the only real dent per se in the chassis that warrants real work. Otherwise, it does have typical things of a car that is pretty old in terms of paint wear, so this is going to have to be repainted. You can see this is a very common Mitsubishi thing. I don't know what was up with them, but they do have paint fading on a lot of that. I actually had that on my Evo 8, believe it or not. So the front bumper, well, it is not in good shape. The lip, the paint is peeling. It's got multiple coats, as you can see here, so it's going to need a full paint job. These carbon fiber canards are pretty much junk in my opinion. They're worn out, as you can see. They're just like fully garbage. They're gonna have to go. So the bumper is gonna go off to paint, get that all cleaned up, make it look like new again. I've got an idea for headlights. You wanna talk about yellow?
God, yeah.
Like that is pretty insane. There's one item actually that I'll show you over here that was kind of problematic for me at first because I didn't know what went here, and when this thing showed up again, I didn't see that this was missing in the photos, but it is, and there's an actual like vent here for the oil cooler, I suppose, that's supposed to pull air out, so I'm gonna have to source that guy over there. The wheels, let's get into the topic of what this car was prior to my ownership. And I'm betting it was I don't want to use this word, but I will. It was a stance car. So this car, as you can see, has got the old stretch tire look, very high or low offset wheels. I think these are like a plus 20 or something. Got the stretch going on. It is low. Definitely not my style, so we're going to be changing that up. The Brembo brakes are extremely faded. Like, check those out. That is, I think, about as faded as they come. And here we have another item that hasn't aged well. And I think this is, I guess it has to be an OEM Mitsubishi thing. This is a, what do you call this, a wind visor, DP?
Visor or wind, yeah.
Something like that, but as you can see, it's like this purpley, translucent color now. So I'm actually thinking about ditching these. I think it'll look cleaner. The other big thing that I want to make sure to replace is, you see this molding here, this trim molding on these amazing fender flares. Well, it is about as rotten and as aged as it gets, so I want to replace those. I've looked online and it looks like they're still available in somewhat limited quantities, and believe it or not, DP, it's not black, and there's like different colors. So if you had a gray car, I think this came in gray. If you had a white car, I think it came in white or black. Anyways, Mitsubishi did an awesome job on that. As you can see, this fender flare is cracked or missing a clip, so we're gonna have to fix that. I suspect that's from the rubbing, as you can see on the tires here, from this this tire coming up and hitting.
That's the stance life.
Yeah,
he's living the stance life.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's a couple of small little cracks here and there. The trunk, well, this is the original wing, but as you can see by these holes here, I suspect, and I think from a photo I saw of this car's previous life, it had a big GT wing.
Nice.
So the holes are still there. Again, let me know in the comments. Do you guys think I should fix these, or like just paint them up and make them look a little bit cleaner? I don't know. It seems like a lot of work to plug a couple of holes.
Can't just go to the wreckers and get a
No, you
trunk lid,
can't.
can
You really can't. The wing here, the little element here, I'm not sure if this was originally carbon fiber. I know the Evos, like the Evo 8s, all came with a clear-coated carbon fiber section here. This does not look like it. However, you can see a lot of the cracking. See, it's coming off here.
Yeah,
so
it's in rough shape.
I don't know if this was painted or not, but I want to paint this again. I think I'm going to paint this black.
Looks
Is that
good black, yeah.
Yeah, or you do OEM color. I don't know.
Does anyone make like an aftermarket carbon one?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that actually would be really cool if there was like a little bit more aggressiveness to this. DP, I should point out, check this out. I don't need to go out and add a wing onto mine that's adjustable. This one is already adjustable.
Cool.
Like, how cool, $19.99, an adjustable wing on a sports sedan from Japan. So
I can dig it.
the over fenders here have had a bit of a scrape. So again, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna have to send these guys off to paint. And here's the other thing that I would love to know your opinion on, because I've never dealt with. So are these replaceable, these like door trim pieces here? Because as you can see, this is very faded.
Yeah,
and I mean, I guess we could potentially try to paint these, but then we'd have to take them all off, and then I'm not sure whether they match with the rest of it, so I don't know. But as you can see, it's not in terrible condition overall. Like, there's a bit of fading on the roof in certain spots. I'm not really going to go into that. I feel like that would be a full repaint. However, let's jump inside, because there's some key nuggets in there that surprised me when this car showed up. Inside our 20-year-old Evo, I think the interior's in pretty average shape. Like, the Recaros aren't terrible. They're a little stained and worn-ish, but I think they're not going to go anywhere. I think with a good cleaning, it'll work out well for them. I actually love these seats. They're so comfortable. And same thing with the steering wheel. Like, to me, this is such a good steering wheel. I'm not going to be replacing it. It's got Momo on it. It looks exceptionally good, in decent shape. And I think the previous owner did a good job of cleaning the whole car up, because it's very shiny. Looks great.
Armoralled it real good.
I don't know if he did it.
Dude, you gotta address the elephant in the room here. Come on.
This? What do you mean? I love this. This is like the cool boy shift knob,
So you're
right?
a Klingon warrior now?
I think I'm gonna actually get one that's double the size of this thing. So it just makes for speedy shift, right?
Terrible. Obviously that's coming out.
Fair enough, fair enough. Actually, you know what? Let's just take it off right now, so you don't have to look at it and the audience doesn't either. Wow, look at that. That is a a contraption. I don't think I can loosen this off, but anyways,
Set it on fire, please.
If you're looking for a pretty awesome shift knob or a toy of some sorts, let us know. We'll have that up for grabs. Getting back to what I was gonna say, the one thing that killed me is that somebody drilled holes in this dash, DP.
Holes. Oh, no.
Holes in the dash. Like, look at these. Look at these.
No bueno. No
Which
bueno.
is, don't ever do this to your car, people. I know some of you want to dash mount your gauges, and if you do that, I've done it in the past. There's great ways. You just like make a little provision here and pass the wires through there, but don't drill in your dash. So actually, I'm gonna end up sourcing a whole new dash, which is gonna be some work to install, but I'm all for it because I do not want that. I've got a Trick AEM digital dash going into this car, which is gonna be pretty awesome. And check this out, digital climate control.
Oh, cool.
Back in 1999, very JDM thing, and such a Spartan setup. Just what I like my car to be. There's not a ton of buttons or all the heated seats. This is what a true driver's car is supposed to be like. The one other issue that we do have is the door cards, they're all peeling here. So that's a common item you can see.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna end up doing this myself. I think if I just source some new fabric, and if you guys wanna post in the comments again, let us know how to apply this, or if you see some videos how to do this, that would be a great tip for us because we're definitely gonna try that. In the back, we've got some sun-faded rear seats, but otherwise it's pretty damn clean. So I think
why don't you fire it up for us, Pete? Because I'd like to hear this thing run and drive.
I would, because this is a running and driving automobile. I lost the key, DP. And that's not a joke. I don't have the key to this car. And that's why I was like, oh, I can't even straighten the steering wheel for you guys. The key is gone. So we are trying to figure out how to get a key. I think we may have a locksmith come by and see if he can whittle us a new one. Otherwise, can we go to the dealership? Will the dealership cut us a key? Because we're in Canada. I don't know if I can walk into a Mitsubishi dealer and be like, I've got this Evo 6. Will you cut me a key or not? So if you can help us out with that, by all means, please let us know. So yeah, I'm not going to start the car for you, Dave, but I can show you what's under the hood. Are you admiring my carbon fiber hood?
I am. It's impressive.
It's pretty baller,
it
right?
Almost doesn't look real somehow.
No, it's super light.
Is it?
It's super light.
Show me the underside of this carbon hood of yours, Peter.
Whoa. What is this? What is this? I can't even peel it. You know what? I've got to commend somebody. Whoever wrapped this hood did an exceptional job because it is on here really well. I'm worried about what we're going to find underneath or how to peel this without leaving a bunch of residue. I heard you don't want to use heat because that'll transfer the glue. I think what you're supposed to use is like steam. So we're gonna try to do this. If you guys, again, have pointers, please let me know in the comments because I'm worried about peeling this and making a mess because I know once you get glue on this and it's not a good thing. So that's gonna come off. I want this hood to look original. And underneath, we've got a pristine engine bay, like any junk or $10,000 car that we buy. Everything is pristine under here. There is no work needed aside from pretty much everything. What we're gonna do is rebuild this motor, and Dave and I are actually gonna rebuild it. So we're not gonna ship it off to anybody. This is gonna be our venture down into rebuilding it. We're not talking about a crazy build. We're just gonna put some pistons and rods into it. The reason to do that is I wanna make around like 350 to the wheel. Okay,
What?
Dave? That's right.
I'm gonna keep up with the STI
I'm gonna
with 350.
beat you
Come
with less
on.
horsepower because I'm going for a responsive setup. I've actually got a G25 550 turbo, not the 660 that you used on the STI. So I think that's gonna be a better match for this setup, but we're gonna find out. Nevertheless, this thing has a MAP Performance tubular header with a wrap. This is definitely gonna go. I've got a pretty awesome piece I'll show you in a second. You guys let me know. I don't know what color this is if this is like a Monster or Zero Sports special color that they use for the intake or the intake piping, because I don't think anybody actually would go out and anodize that color, or maybe I'm wrong. So,
Yeah, it's got to be a JDM thing.
I think so, yeah. It's got this Diamond Coat Corrosion Management System.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course, these work like $1 million, and that's why every OEM installs them on their cars, right? I've never understood that, honestly.
No,
I
it's a
think
weird
those are
one.
a big gimmick. This Blitz radiator, I think, is probably 15 years old. You can guess by the rad cap. We've got a brand new coil going in there, and we're going to be doing a coil oil cooler as well, and an intercooler. So I'm super excited to be upgrading all those things there, because I'm going to try to do a lot of the fab work myself. So I think that is kind of a general explanation of what we've got going under the hood. Let's put this thing up on the hoist, because I actually haven't seen underneath it, and these cars are known for rust problems. The low life has affected this car in a way that I wasn't expecting. Wow, there is a lot of carnage under here. Let's start off with the front lip that I thought would just need a repaint, but I've noticed that all of the plastic clips that hold it onto the bumper here are broken. Like, look at this. This is gone. This one is completely gone. This bumper is supposed to, I think, sit up further back. So that's going to be problematic. By the way, if any of you out there are Mitsubishi experts or have access to parts, Australia, I'm looking at you, Japan, the UK, please let me know, because I'm going to be in dire need of parts. So if you guys have anything you see that needs replacing, by all means, shoot me an email, peter@speed.academy, or message me on Instagram. Look at this here, DP. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this is wrapped per se, but
it's a strange spot to have.
Maybe there's
wrapped.
a boost leak. I don't know. The dump pipe here, well, it's taken a bunch of hits. What's actually more scary is check out the oil filter. Oof. Holy crap!
Bottomed out the
like
oil
you're talking
filter?
about. This looks to me, if it took a couple more hits, she'd be
over.
donezo for sure. The oil pan, yeah, I'm gonna say we're gonna need a new one. So if you've got one of those floating around, let me know. That's pretty bad. Rust-wise, as you can see, there's a bit of surface rust starting in this area. This is what I was talking about. A lot of these cars suffer from surface rust. We'll end up sending a lot of this stuff off to JP at Stripping Tech once again to coat this. We will be dropping this entire subframe. The tires. Like,
Full Baldinis.
yeah, these
Wow.
are the definition of gone and camber wear. I love what's happened here. These are actually brake ducts, which I love on a lot of the JDM cars. And this side, not particularly, but check out this side. It's been bent to the point where it just like deflects air downwards, not towards the brake. So I'm pretty sure actually I could, there we go, bend this back. As you can see, the problem was this was interfering here. So we'll leave that back there for now. We've got some random wires here. I think this one is just like a weird ground for that earthing kit for the rust protection. Very weird. This one here, I think, is for the boost gauge or something. It runs through there. The exhaust system is peculiar because it has two resonators. I've never seen this before. I don't think this is a stock piece, judging by the angle that this pipe was put in on. But two massive resonators. I don't know if there's a law in Nova Scotia where you got to keep your decibels below something. I do have a new exhaust system that I've sourced from Turn 14 that I'm really stoked to put on here. And as I mentioned, you can see a little bit of the surface rust that's starting around these areas. It's not bad, like the fuel lines and everything are in good shape. So it's like the chassis isn't rotted, it just has that little bit of surface rust. I'd love to hear your comments as to what should we do. Should we just kind of like rubber spray this, or put some Por 15 on here, or some like rust inhibitor, or should we just leave it because it's underneath the car and it's not really a huge problem? We're not into like the full restoration thing, even though I would love to do that. The YouTube schedule doesn't allow that. So let's have a look in the back here, because I already see a little bit of oil in this section, which I don't think is a good thing. The diff looks like it is covered in oil, so I'm not sure. We probably will service this. I know some issues with these cars are the AYC pump needs to be flushed and whatnot. So again, please send me all the information. By no means am I an Evo 6 expert, so I'd love to know what are the major service items that we need to do here, and if this is a common thing. Like only one side of the rear diff here is covered in oil. So is there something leaking from up top? I don't know. A lot of surface rust in this area here. Subframe doesn't look bad. It's aluminum, so we're good to go there. And we've got a major problem area right over here, which again, we're gonna need to figure out. I'm probably gonna end up cleaning this off and then painting it. It's time to find out what we've gotten in the trunk with this car. And right away I can see there are some I think of these, oh, DP. These are the ducts, functional, that run, I think, in the lip. So they must pull air into an area somewhere, though. Super cool.
Yeah, wow, that is nice.
Does your STI have?
No,
Oh wait, you've got those that front lip that doesn't actually have any ducts in it.
Yeah, but man, it looks good. And
You're right. It does look good. It does look good.
And I've got those big brakes. They don't need any cooling anyway.
Oh, I've got Brembos too. So we're playing an even playing field there. What is this? Oh, weird. I think this is from a motorcycle. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is this? Woo! Power builder?
These are
what?
Oh wow!
BR Power Builder.
GM stuff right there.
Holy!
What the heck is that? Is that like a
rev limiter?
controller?
Holy, this is like super old OG. I'm kind of worried that this is a knockoff because the box does not look very JDM. Like that does not look at all what a BR rev limiter would come into. Let's BR rev limiter, look at that. All right, let's see what's in this big box. I suspect suspension, maybe stock.
Yeah.
Stock.
Oh yeah, that's for the coilovers.
Yeah. Holy, look at that. This is
stock suspension.
Old school stock suspension. We got a D1 racing spec nuts. Okay. Yeah, for sure. All right, well, BC Racing coilovers. We didn't mention that, but this car is on the BC Racing coilovers. This won't be going back in. So, there is one last surprise. At the heart of the build is, as I mentioned before, our G25 550 turbo, with a V-band, and that's because I went for the best here. Check out the weld porn from Full Race. Look at this manifold, DP.
It is sexy.
Come on. This thing is gonna make some serious jam. And of course, you'll notice some similarities to your STI here because, well, I'm trying to match stuff to make sure that we have an even battle. So the internet doesn't get upset like, oh, you're on a certain setup and this car and your STI wasn't, so it's gonna be kind of as fair as I can make it. I've got GSC Power Division cams, a bunch of headwork. We've got the same rotors and pads, StopTech Sport pads that we're running, Super Pro bushings. We've got a spec clutch. We've got the same coilovers that you're on. Look at that, Dave. I got some KWs, man, and they look good. We are also going to be, as I already mentioned, we've got the Koyo Rad stuff. So we've got a nice new rad. We've got an oil cooler that I'm excited to get on. And of course, our rad cap, because that one was so crummy looking. AM for some fuel support. We've got that. And check this out.
Ooh, going big.
You know what that is?
You're going race car on me,
That's right, buddy. This is a CD5 dash. So I'm going to be able to display everything I need. I'm not going to have to put gauges or anything like that. And this is street car spec. So I'm going to have turn signal indicators on here. And I hope to integrate it into this. I think this is an Evo 4 or Evo 5 cluster I bought. So I'm going to gut this one because I don't want to ruin the 6 one. And with this little template here.
Oh, that's cool.
Like this actually slides in and then you can cut it out to make it work so we can make it look super fancy. Yeah, this is going to be pretty awesome. And of course, I had to go with the same tires.
Ooh,
same width, 255 Advan Neovas.
Can you fit a 255 on that car?
We're going to try.
Man, that's a lot of tire.
I know. It's a ton of tire. We might have to do a little bit of trimming of those rear fender flares, but we're going to try to make it work. The wheels that I have coming are going to shock you. They are some of the newest out there. I don't even know if there's any sets in North America yet. So they are on their way. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but as you can see, there is a ton of awesome stuff coming down the line. I am so excited for this build. Not because I want to beat your STI, but because I'm just such an Evo lover. I've always wanted to build an Evo 6. So follow along on this journey. I think it's going to be a great one. So thank you so much for watching. We will be back very soon with more Evo content.
It's a good look, BT. It's a good look. You're going to need to wear that when I leave you in the dust in the STI.
Oh, you're dreaming. This thing's going to be superior. Speaking of which...